Glenn Greenwald has made an interesting statement on Democracy Now! This week. To kind of remember what I said just 2 days ago, I went back and watched my clip from Monday, where I said, without really taking a conspiratorial tone per se, that when we think about the al-Qaeda warnings, al-Qaeda strategic attack possible, and when we think about the embassy and the consulate closings in the Middle East and North Africa and Madagascar, we can't ignore the potential public relations element of pumping up and promoting that those threats exist, right? And the idea was, maybe it's used as a pretext for getting people to think the NSA surveillance makes sense, or maybe it's just otherwise used to further foreign policy ideas. And we know that this has been done because after 9/11, which had no connection at all to Saddam Hussein and Iraq, was used to kind of foment support from the American people for going into Iraq. So we know the government has done that. I just presented it as hey, I don't know, maybe there's something to this. And now Glenn Greenwald, who you can disagree with me about Glenn Greenwald's credibility or whatever you want, but the point is he has been deeply entrenched in this recent security surveillance scandal involving Edward Snowden. He also now is saying, here we are in the midst of one of the most intense debates and sustained debates that we've had in a very long time in this country over the dangers of excess surveillance. And suddenly an administration that has spent 2 years claiming that it has decimated al-Qaeda decides that there is a massive threat that involves the closing of embassies and consulates around the world. The controversy is over the fact that they are sweeping up billions and billions of emails and telephone calls every single day from people in the US and around the world who have nothing to do with terrorism. I won't comment too much more on this. I threw this idea out as a complete hypothetical on Monday. We have Glenn Greenwald now asking the exact same question. And now I put it to you. What do you think about this? Do you think that there is a PR element to the al-Qaeda threat embassy closing paradigm that we have observed over years, but most recently over this past weekend? We're going to take a break, but before we do that, I want to remind you that we are giving away free t-shirts. We've talked on the bonus show and on the regular show extensively about how the David Pakman Show, thanks in great part to the success of our membership program so far, we're moving our primary studio to New York City. That's happening in a couple of weeks. Producer Louis Motamedi is opening up the Austin, Texas bureau of the David Pakman Show, creating a little bit of a red state presence in a state that, strategically speaking, has a lot of money going in now to try to turn it blue. We're only able to do these things because of membership support. And because we have all of this stuff happening, we are making an extra special case, an extra compelling case to you to become a supporter. So go to davidpakman.com/NYC. You get a 1-year membership. We'll send you a free t-shirt. Very, very simple. We'll take a break, and coming up next, we'll have this week's Hatriot Mail. We will talk about Alaskan horse sex, of all things. And I'll also be joined by George Church, a Harvard researcher on genetically modified foods. Stay with us.